This is a question taken from chapter Speed, Time and Distance. This question is asked in UPSC CSAT paper of 2011, right? So if a bus travel 160 km in 4 hours and a train travels 320 km in 5 hours at a uniform speed, then what is the ratio? The question is asking ratio of the distance traveled by them in 1 hour, right? So the question is asking the ratio of distance traveled by bus and distance traveled by train, right? So first let's calculate the speed of bus. The speed of bus will be equal to distance upon time, right? So this will come out, we can cancel 160 by 4, like 40 times. So 40 km per hour, right? And similarly we will calculate the speed of train will be equal to 320 upon 5. So from 5 we can cancel this, 5 6 are 30 and 5 4 are 20, right? So this will be 64 km per hour, right? So we have speed of bus and train both, and we know that the distance, that distance is proportional to the speed, right, if time is constant. So the ratio of speed will be equal to the ratio of distance. So the ratio of speed is how much? Ratio of speed is bus and ratio of train is equal to 40 and 64. From 4 we can cut this 10 times, right? And this is not 4, like we can cut it this with 16, right? Then again we can cut this from 2, right? This is 5 times, this is 8 times. So the ratio will be 5:8, right? So this ratio is equal to the distance ratio. So distance ratio will be the same, 5:8. So the answer is option B. So option B is the correct answer, right? So this is very easy question if you understand the basic concept, right? If you guys have any issues in this, so you can comment or call us or WhatsApp us, right? And we will reply you. So this is a question taken from chapter Speed, Time and Distance, right? So this question is asked in UPSC CSAT paper of 2012. So this is a good question, just focus on it, right? Mr. Kumar drives to work at an average speed of 40 km per hour, right? So the speed of Mr. Kumar is 48 km. The time taken to cover the first 60% of the distance is 10 minutes more than, so it is 10 minutes more from what? More than the time taken to cover the remaining distance. How far is the office, right? So suppose, just draw a line, this is the office and this is home, right? So Mr. Kumar is going from home to office at a speed of 48 km per hour, right? Suppose the distance is D from here till here, right? So the question is saying that to cover this 60% of distance, this is the 60% distance, right? This much from till here, right? Suppose this is 60%, and so this will be the remaining 40% distance, right? So the question is saying the time taken to cover this distance D60, right? So the time, suppose this is time T1 and this is time T2, right? So the question is saying that T1 is 10 minutes more than T2, right? So the question is saying that the time taken to cover first 60% is more than 10 minutes, right? So this is saying this is in minute, right? And we have speed in hours, right? So make it in hours. So what we will do, we will divide it with 60. So all time is in hours now. So the question is saying T1 minus T2 is equal to 10 upon 1 upon 6 we can write, right? And how is T1 we can calculate? So T1 will be how much? T1 will be the distance. Distance is how much? Distance is d, we can cancel this 0 with this 0, right? So this will be d into 6 upon 10 upon speed is how much? 48. Similarly, T2 is what? T2 is 40%. We can cancel this 0 with this 0. This is d into 4 by 10 upon 48. So we can put this value here. So this will become how much? This will become d into 6, 10 into 48 minus d into 4, 10 into 48 equal to 1 upon 6. So we can, the LCM we will take, this is the LCM we will take, so we can directly take it here, right? So this will be 10 into 48 from 6, this will go 8 times, right? So 6d minus 4d will be 2d, 2d will be equal to 10 into 8. So this 2 will cancel this 8 4 times, right? So d will be 40. So d is what? 40 kilometer. So this is our answer, right? So option B is our answer, right? See, this is very easy questions if you understand the basic, right? So I hope ये आप सबको समझ आ गया होगा. If you guys still have some problem, you can connect with us through WhatsApp, right? Through comment or through call. So this is a question from speed, time and distance chapter, right? This is asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2013. A thief running at 8 km per hour is chased by a policeman whose speed is 10 km per hour, right? So suppose this is chore or the thief and this is police, right? So the thief is running at a speed of 8 km per hour and the policeman is running with a speed of 10 km per hour, right? If thief is 100 meter ahead of the policeman, so the distance between them is 100 meter, then the time required for the policeman to catch the thief, right? So in this kind of questions we use the concept of relative speed. So the relative speed between the police and thief is, because both are going in the same direction, so it will be the difference of their speed. So the difference is 10 minus 8 is equal to 2 km per hour, right? Now we will this is in km per hour and the distance between police and thief is in meter, so we will convert this speed in meter per hour, right? So it will be 2 into 5 by 18 meter per hour, right? Because we know that 1 km per hour will be equal to 5 by 18 meter per hour, meter per second, sorry, this is second, right? So this will become, so now the speed is this much and the distance is 100 meter. So the time taken would be equal to distance upon speed. Speed is 2 into 5 by 18. So this will become 100 into 18 upon 2 into 5, right? 5 to the 10, so this will cut this 1 0, so it will become 180 second, right? So 180 second will be equal to 3 minutes, right? So the answer will be option B. So its answer is option B, 3 minutes, right? So this very easy question. I hope ये आप सबको समझ में आ गया होगा. अगर ये किसी को समझ में नहीं आया, then you guys can contact with us through WhatsApp, through email, right, or through comment, right? And I will explain you this question again, right? So this is a question from speed, time and distance chapter, right? Asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2013, right? A person can walk a certain distance and drive back in 6 hours. He can also walk both ways in 10 hours. How much time will he take to drive both ways? Right. So you can answer this question through common sense, right? So suppose this is a distance. So in the first question is saying that suppose person P. So he is walking from here till from A point to B, right? He is walking, right, here, and then he is driving. He is like suppose drive a two-wheeler or four-wheeler, right? So total time here he is driving. So total time he is taking is how much? 6 hours. And in the second case, this person is walking from here till here, right? He is going this way, and then from here to here again he is walking, right? This is B point, this is A point, right? So this is also walking. So he is taking how much time? 10 hours. So one side will be how much? One side will be half of it, right? Yani 5 hours. So this is 5 hours. If this is 5 hours, total is 6 hours. So this drive will be 1 hour, right? So one side drive is equal to 1 hour. Two side drive will be equal to 2 hours. This is our answer. So option A is correct answer. So this is a question from speed, time and distance chapter, right? So this question is asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2014. Two cars start towards each other. So they are starting from towards each other, right? So this is like this. From two places A and B. So this is place A and this is place B, which are at a distance of, so the distance between A and B is 160 km. They start at the same time. So both are starting at same time, right? If the speed of the car 50 km, suppose this is 50 km per hour and this is 30 km per hour, right? So they will meet each other at what time they will meet, right? So here in this kind of question, what we use the concept of relative speed, right? So we use the concept of relative speed. So the relative speed will be how much? Because they are coming towards each other, so the speed will get added. So the relative speed will be 80 km per hour, right? So the time will be how much? So the time taken will be how much? It will be the distance. The distance is 160 km and relative speed is 80. So the 0 will cut this 0, 8 to the 16. So it will be 2 hours. So after 2 hours, they will meet each other, right? So what will be the time? So the question is asking time. So they started at 8, 10. So after 2 hours, they will meet. So they will meet at 8, 10 plus 2 hours, right? So it will be 10, 10 a.m. So this is the answer. So the option A is the correct answer, right? This is a question from speed, time and distance unit asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2014. This is a good question, right? So this is one type of question asked by UPSC in CSAT paper, right? A worker reaches his factory 3 minutes late if his speed from his house to the factory is 5 km per hour, right? So the worker is going from home to factory, right? And the speed is 5 km per hour and time he is taking, right, 3 minutes late. If he walks at a speed of 6 km per hour, second case is he is going with a speed of 6 km per hour, then he reaches the factory 7 minutes early, right? So he is reaching 7 minutes early. The distance of the factory from the house is, suppose the distance is D from here till here, right? And in the first case, we are supposing he is taking how much time? Suppose the normal time is T. So he is taking the right time is T to reach from home to factory. But in the first case, he is taking how much time? He is taking 3 minutes more, right? So 3 minutes we will convert into hours, right? Because the speed in km per hour, right? And in the second case, when he is going with a speed of 6 km per hour, he is taking how much time? He is taking 7 minutes less, right? So we will reduce, we will minus, because T is the correct time, right? So in the first case, he is taking 3 minutes more, right? So we added, and in the second case, he is taking 7 minutes less. So we deducted 7 minutes from the correct time, right? So from here, if we apply the simple formula of speed and distance, right? So the distance will be D. So distance is equal to how much? The speed 5 right, into t plus 3 by 60, right. Similarly, from here we will get distance is equal to, because the distance is same in the first case also and in the second case also, the distance is same. So, distance is equal to 6 into t minus 7 upon 60, right. Because both d are equal, so we will equate them, right. So, the equation will become 5 t plus 3 upon 60 is equal to 6 t minus 7 upon 60, right. So, now we will solve it. 5t plus, we will take 5 inside, so this will become 50 upon 60 is equal to, we will take inside 6, 60 minus 6 into 7 upon 60, right. So, we will take 5t this side and we will bring this one this side, right. So, it will become 15 upon 60 plus, this will go this side, right, 42 upon 60 is equal to 60 minus 5t, right. So, 60 minus 5t is equal to t, and this will be 60 will be LCM. So, this will be 57 upon 60. So, this is the time, the correct time, right, in hours, right. But the question is asking the distance. So, distance will be, we will put this in the first equation, this one is suppose first, right. So, the d is equal to 5 into t is how much we got t 57 upon 60 plus 3 upon 60, right. So, 57 plus 3 LCM will be 60. So, this will become 60, 60 will get 60. So, what will remain? D is equal to 5. So, D is a 5 kilometer. So, the answer is option C. So, this is our answer, right. So, you can solve this question in 1 minute hardly, right. So, this was an easy question, but the language is tricky, and how we will approach is we should see, right. So, if you guys have any issues in that, you can connect with us. So, this is the question from speed, time and distance unit asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2015. See, in the exam they won't give you that this is a question from speed, time and distance. So, I am telling you like this is for this type of questions from this unit, right. From this chapter this question is taken, right. So, the question is, in a 500-meter race B start 45-meter ahead of A, but A wins, still is winning, right, the race, while B is still 35-meter behind, right. So, what is happening, let's see, like this starting point and this is the final ending point. So, here A and B is ahead of A 45-meter. So, the difference between the distance between A and B is 45-meter, and this is total distance is 500-meter, right. So, A is winning the race. So, A is reaching here, but still B is here. So, this is also given, this is the distance between A and B here is 35-meter. So, A is covering how much distance? A is covering 500-meter, and B is covering how much? B is covering 45 less here and 35 less here. So, B is covering 500 minus 45, and he is not even covering this much. So, the B is covering only this distance, right, this distance. So, it will be equal to 500 minus this will be 80. So, this will be 420, right. So, B is covering 420-meter distance and A is covering 500-meter. So, what is asking? They are asking the ratio of speed. So, we know that the ratio of speed will be equal to the ratio of distance traveled by A and the distance traveled by B, because speed are in direct proportion to distance, right, if the time is constant. So, the distance here is traveled by A is 500 and distance traveled by B is 420, right. So, this 0 will cut this 0, from 2 we can cut both these, it will go 25 times and it will be 21. So, the ratio will be 25 is to 21. So, this is the answer. So, the answer is option A, right. So, this is easy question, right. So, I hope you सबको समझ आ गया होगा. If you guys still have some issues, so you can comment and you can raise any queries. So, this is a question from speed, time and distance chapter, right. So this question is asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2015. Two cities A and B are 360 km apart. A car goes from A to B. So this is A, this is B, and the distance is 360 km. So car going from A to B, right? At what speed? 40 km per hour, right? And return to A and then again coming back to A with a speed of 60 km per hour. So what is the average speed of the car? So the average speed they are asking. We know that the average speed of car will be equal to 2 into, there is one formula for this, 2xy upon x plus y, where x and y are speed, right? So this will be 2x will be like 40 km and y will be the second distance, right? Second speed, right? Because the distance is same, so there is no need to consider the distance here, right? 2 into 40 into 60 upon x plus y, x is 40 and it will be 60, right? So this will become 2 into 40 into 60 upon 100. This 0 will cut this 0, this 0 will cut this 0, right? So this will be equal to 48 km per hour. So this is the average speed. So the answer would be option B, right? So this is one formula I am using right here to calculate average speed, right? So the answer is option B. This is a question from Speed, Time and Distance asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2016. A and B walk around a circular track. They start at 8 am from same point in opposite direction. A and B walk at a speed of 2 rounds per hour and 3 rounds per hour respectively. How many times shall they cross each other before 9:30 am? Right. So the question is, suppose this is a circular track, right? This is a starting point. So there are two persons A and B, right? So they are running in opposite direction, like suppose A is on this side and B from this side, right? And what's the time here? 8 am, right? So what's the speed of A? A's speed is 2 round. He will take 2 round per hour and the B will take 3 round per hour, right? So in every round they will meet. Okay, so in 1 hour we will use the concept of relative speed, right? Because they are running in opposite direction. So in 1 hour, how many times they will meet? They will meet 2 plus 3. So their relative speed will be 2 plus 3. So they will meet 5 times, right? So they will meet 5 times in an hour, right? Because in every round they will meet. Okay, so in 1 hour they are meeting 5 times. In half an hour, in 30 minutes they will meet half of it, right? 2.5. So 2.5 can't be a figure, right? So we will consider 2. So in half an hour they will meet 2 times, right? So the question is asking before 9:30 am how many times they will meet. So the difference between 8 am to 9:30 am is 1.5 hour, like 1.5 hour. So it will be total 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. So they will meet 7 times, right? So the answer is option A. Okay, so this was easy question. Actually we should just know like in every round they will meet, right? So 3 plus 2 we have to do. So relative speed, right? So they will meet in an hour, they will meet 5 times. Okay, if we know this concept, you can solve it in just few seconds, less than 10 seconds, right? So if you guys have any problem in this, you can ask us through WhatsApp, through call or through comment, right? So this is a question from Speed, Time and Distance chapter asked by UPSC and CSAT paper of 2017. This is a good question. A freight train left Delhi for Mumbai at an average speed of 40 km per hour, right? So freight train means goods train, right? So this is Delhi and this is Mumbai, right? So the train left from here, goods train, right, at a speed of how much? 40 km per hour. 2 hours later an express train left. So after 2 hours express train left from Delhi to Mumbai, right, at a speed of following the freight train on a parallel track at an average speed of 60 km per hour, right? So they are going in same direction. This is also going in this direction, this is also going. So how much distance the freight train cover in 2 hours, right? So 2 hours, suppose this will reach here. So how much distance the freight train covered? So we will, like we know the formula, speed is equal to distance upon time, right? So we will use this formula. So the speed is 40 km, right? And distance we want to know how much distance the freight train covered, and the time is 2 hours. So distance will be 40 into 2 is equal to 80. So the freight train is at 80 kilometers. So that this distance is 80 km. Now when this train reach here, the special train start, right? Okay, so now we will use now it becomes a question of police and thief, right, kind of questions. So now we will use the relative speed. So what is the relative speed between both? The relative speed will be 60 minus 40, 60 km for special train. So this will be 20 km per hour, right? So when they will meet, after how much time they will meet? They will meet, the time will be equal to the total distance. So distance is 80 and the relative speed is 20. So 24 is 80. So after 4 hours they will meet, right? But the question is asking how far from Delhi. So this is Delhi. How far from Delhi would the express trains meet the freight train? So after 4 hours they will meet, we know, but they are asking the distance from Delhi. So how much distance the special train traveled in? So distance traveled by special train in 4 hours will be equal to speed of special train into timing. So this will be 60 into 4 is equal to 240 kilometers. So the answer would be option C. So this is the answer, right? See, these are very easy questions if you understand the concept, right? If you can understand this language, right, so the question become easy, right? So its answer is option C. This is a question from speed, time and distance unit asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2018. So this is a very good question, right? So it is using a one concept. If somebody knows it, so he or she can solve it in 10 seconds, right? Let's see. Two persons A and B are running on a circular track, right? So there is a circular track, right? So A and B are running at the center. So this is the center of circle, right? At the start, B is ahead of A. So suppose A is standing here, B is ahead of A. So suppose this is B. And their position make an angle of 30 at the center of the circle, right? So the angle is this is 30 degree, right? When A reaches the point diametrically opposite to his standing point, he meets B. So when A reach here, right, so the A is running like this, B is also running like this. So A reach here, at the same time B also reach here. Opposite to his standing point, he meets B. What is the ratio of speed of A and B? So the question is asking speed ratio of A and B. So as you all know that the speed ratio will be equal to the distance ratio between A and B, because distance and speed are because we know like speed and distance are proportional to each other, right? So that will be equal to distance traveled by A and B, and here the distance traveled by A and B will be proportional to what? It will be proportional to the angle traveled by them. So it will be equal to the angle traveled by A and angle traveled by B. So how much angle A traveled? So A traveled 180 degree, right? From here to here, this is 180, right? So it will be 180 degree. And how much B traveled? B traveled 180 minus 30, total is 180. So angle traveled by B will be equal to 180 degree minus 30 degree. So it will be 150 degree, right? So it will be 150. So this 0 will cancel this 0. From 3 we can cancel it, right? 3 5s are 15, 3 6 18. So the ratio is 6:5. So this is the answer. So the answer is option A, right? So this is our answer. See, this is very easy question, but it looks so tough, right? And if you don't know this concept, you won't be able to solve it, right? So this is asked 2 times in UPSC, right? In 2018 also, and one more year this is asked. So you have to remember this thing, right? So I hope ये सबको समझ में आ गया होगा. If you guys still have some issues, so you can contact with me. I will explain you this thing again personally, right? Okay guys, if you like my work, please like, subscribe and share it with your friends. So this is a question from speed, time and distance asked by UPSC and CSAT paper of 2018. This is very interesting question, right? So figure drawn below gives the velocity graph. So we should know what is velocity graph. So they have given the velocity graph of two vehicle A and B. The straight line OKP represent the velocity of vehicle A. So this one is representing velocity of vehicle A, right? Whereas the horizontal straight line, this one CKD, is representing the velocity of vehicle B, right? In the figure, D is the point, D, this point, where perpendicular from P meets the horizontal line CKD such that PD is equal to, so PD is equal to, suppose this distance is x. So what is given? They have given this distance is 2x, right? Because PD is equal to half of LD, right? So what is the ratio? The question is asking the ratio between the distance covered by vehicle A and B in the time interval OL, right? So this is a time on x-axis, on the y-axis there is a velocity. So time this traveled is equal to OL, right? So they are asking the distance. So the ratio of distance will be how much? The vehicle A, right? So distance traveled by vehicle A, suppose this is dA, and the distance covered by vehicle B, right? So the question is asking this. Okay, so distance traveled by dA. So in this velocity graph, the distance traveled by dA will be equal to the area. So this is a concept, right? So area covered by vehicle A, right? So area covered by vehicle A is how much? So this is vehicle A. So this is the area. So this is the area covered by vehicle A, right? So this is how much? This is triangle, right? So area will be half into, what is the area of triangle? The area of triangle is equal to half into base is OL into height is PL. PL is how much? 2x plus x, 3x, right? And similarly for vehicle B, the distance of vehicle B is equal to how much? So area covered by vehicle B. So area covered by vehicle B is how much? So this is the area covered by vehicle B, right? So this is a rectangle. So we know that the area of rectangle equal to base OL into this one DL or CO, both are equal, right? So this will be 2x, right? So it's asking the ratio of this. So the ratio will become how much? It will become 1 by 2 OL into 3x, right? And dB will be OL into 2x. This OL will cut this OL, this x will cut this x. So this will be 3 upon 2 will come this side, 2 into 2, 4. So the answer will be 3 by 4, yani 3:4. So the answer is option C. That's it. So this is the answer, right? So the concept here is we should know like the distance will be equal to the area covered by them. That's it. If we know this is just 10-second question. In 10 seconds you can solve this, right? So this is very good question asked by UPSC. So I hope ये आप सबको समझ आ गया होगा. If you guys still have some issues in that, you can comment or call us or WhatsApp us, and you can ask me directly and I will explain you personally, right? This is a question of speed, time and distance unit asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2019. When a runner crossing the 12 km mark, she was informed that she had completed only 80% of the race. How many kilometers was the runner supposed to run in this event? Right. So like by reading this, it looks like a little tricky, but this is very easy question, right? So suppose the race start from here, this starting point, and goes till here. This is final point, and this is 12 km mark, right? So when she crossed this or she reached here, she was informed that she covered 80% of the race. So how many kilometer was the runner supposed to run? So suppose this is x kilometer from here to here, right? So x kilometers 80% is equal to 12 km, right? Because from here to here, it's the distance is 12 km, because this is a 12 km mark, so the distance will be 12 km. So the 80% of some distance is 12. So the x would be, this 0 will cancel this 0, this 10 will go with 12, so this will become 12 10 by 8. From 4 we can 4 2 is 8, 4 3 is 12, 2 say we can cut this 5, right? So this will be 3 into 5 is equal to 15. So this is our answer. So the answer would be option B. So this is the answer. So the race is 15 kilometer race, right? So this was easy question, right? So I hope you everybody have got this, right? So if you guys still have some issues, so you can connect with us. So this is a question of speed, time and distance unit asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2019. X, Y and Z are three contestants in a race of 1000 meter. Assume that all run with different uniform speed. X give Y a start of 40 meter, right? So let's draw it like from here to here, right? So this is starting point and this is final point. So what is happening? X gives Y a start of 40 meter. So this is 40 meter, and from start to final, this is total distance is how much? This is 1000, right? So Y standing here, X is here, and X gives Z a start of 64 meter, right? So this is Z. So total from here X to Z is 64 meter. XY is 40, so YZ will be how much? YZ will be 64 minus 40, so it will be 24, right? So this is 24. If Y and Z were to compete in a race of 1000 meter, how many meter start will Y give to Z, right? So the difference between Y and Z is 24 meter, and Y is standing at here, right? Y is having a start of 40 meter. So how much Y is running? So Y is covering how much distance? So Y is covering a distance of 1000 minus 40. So he is covering 960, right? So in a race of 960, right? In 960 race, in a 960 meter race, Y is giving Z is start of 24 meter, right? From here to here, Y is covering 960, and the start of 24 meter is given to Z in a 960 meter race. So in 1 meter race, how much start Y will give to Z? 24 upon 960. So therefore in 1000 meter race, how much start y will give to z will be equal to this much, right? So now we will solve this. This 0 will cancel this 0, right? 24 is a 96. This 4 will cut this 100. It will go 25. So this is 25 meter. So in a 1000 meter race, y will give z a start of 25 meter. So this is our answer. So the answer is option B, right? See, the languages looks tough, but if you know this concept or if you know the basics of the race, you can solve it very easily. So the answer is option B. I hope you सबको समझ आ गया होगा. If you guys still have some problem, so you can contact with us, right? So this is a question of from chapter Speed, Time and Distance asked by UPSC in their CSAT paper of 2022. So this kind of questions are asked by UPSC frequently. So just focus on this question. X and Y run a 3 kilometer race along a circular course, right? So there is a circular course, right? So suppose this is a starting point, right? So this is starting point and X, Y are standing here, right? Circular course of length 300 meter. This is one round is how much? 300 meter, right? And the race is how much? 3 kilometer, 3 km. In 1 kilometer we have 1000 meter. So this will become 3 into 1000. So this will be 3000. So the race is 3000 meter. So how many round? So how many round will be there? In one round is 300 meters. So the number of round will be how much? Number of round will be 3000 upon 300 because one round is 300. So this will be 10 round, right? So X and Y will take how many round? 10 round to complete the race of 3 kilometer. Now their speed are in the ratio of, so their speed is given, the speed of X and Y are in the ratio of 3:2. If they start together in the same direction, so they are going in both in the same direction, right? How many times would the first one means X, pass the other, right? The start off is not counted as passing, right? So how many times they will meet or one pass the other in a race of 3 kilometer, right? So this is a question. Okay, so we know that speed is directly proportional to distance, right? If time is constant, right? So their distance will also be in the ratio of their speed. So this will be 3:2, right? Everybody's noted, right? So their distance will be in the ratio of 3:2. So what does it mean? It means when X will complete 3 round, right, in a same time Y will complete 2 round. 3 round completion means X is at starting point, right? X is at starting point and 2 round completed by Y, it means Y is at starting point, right? So when X will complete 3 round, right, X will be here after 3 round and Y will also be here after taking 2 rounds. So X completed 3 round and Y completed 2 round and they are meeting at starting point, right? Okay, so 3 round means how many kilometers? 3 into 300 because one round is 300 meter. So the X is covering 900 meter distance and the Y is covering 2 into 300 is equal to 600 meter, right? So X covering 900 meter, in the same time Y is covering 600 meter, right? So total how many round they have to take? 10 round. Total 10 round they have to take and every third round they are meeting, right? So they are meeting at every third round. Suppose this one round, second round, third round, fourth, fifth, sixth, right? Seventh, eighth, 9 or 10. This is 10 round. So they are meeting at third round and again they will meet at 6th round and again they will meet at 9th round. So how many round they will take? 3 round, right? So how many times they will meet? 3 times, right? They are meeting at third round when X is covering third round and y covered 2 round, and again they are meeting at 6 when x covered 6 round, right? And similarly when x cover 9 round. So how many times they will meet? They will meet 3 times. So the answer is option B. So this is the answer, right? It is easy question if you understand the concept, right? If you are able to understand the concept, it is very easy, right? So we will just divide 10 by 3, right? So it will come 3, right? So 3 round, 3 times they will meet, right? Because out of 10 round, in 3 round, when they complete 3 round, they meet. Okay. So I hope ये सबको समझ आ गया होगा. If you guys still have some problem, you can connect with us and I will explain you this question personally.